Hey guys, so we're gonna get a little bit of rings training in. We're gonna do basics, so it's not gonna be gymnastics rings training at all, but it's gonna be basic movements, strengthening for the muscle up. So there's a couple different things that we do to strengthen for the muscle up, and there's different variations that we do as far as the dipping and the pulling that helps with muscle up strength versus just normal pull-ups or dips. All right, so a couple things that we do regularly in gymnastics is we do rowing movements. And we do them all the time in a false grip position because the muscle up's done in the false grip position. It's challenging, it's definitely uncomfortable. For those of you that don't know what a false grip is, you can come close and check this out. The false grip is when your wrist is on top of the rings. So when you transition from the pulling to the pushing, your wrist is already on top. Now if your wrist is below, it's really hard to get your body on top. So we start in a false grip with our wrists on top. The best way to improve false grip, people ask me this question all the time, the best way to improve it is to hang with straight arms in false grip. So get a false grip, hang with straight arms, okay? Just get used to that position. The false grip is just wrist flexibility. It's just this flexibility. So as long as you can do that, you can hang, you get used to it. It's a little bit uncomfortable in the beginning, but it helps a lot. So when we do a lot of our pulling exercises, I like to do it in false grip position. So instead of just doing 10 strict pull-ups, we'll do 10 strict pull-ups in false grip. So again, really important to do it in the false grip so you get used to that position. Front. So I like to strengthen my rows as much as possible. Again, doing your rows in false grip. We're gonna have Dustin Myers coming in a little bit. Me and him usually do rings on Wednesdays, which is a lot of fun. So Dustin is the strength and conditioning coach for Ohio State Wrestling. Super strong guy, extremely knowledgeable. So it's always fun to kind of mix it up, get some gymnastics going on. We got Dustin right here.
Ready to get maxed effort on these rings today. Let's go. So just doing rows and
Yeah,
false grip.
rows in the false grip, yep.
How many reps?
Just 10.
Okay. Just kind of keep like an underhand?
Yeah,
Okay.
try to keep it like that. So another thing to mention, because Dustin asked about underhand grip. So the reason why we keep an underhand grip so often is because, like I said, you want to stay behind the rings in the muscle up part. So when you're in underhand, look at your shoulders. It already chokes them up and gets you behind the rings. If your shoulders are turned out, it's really hard to stay back. So as long as you try to keep your hands rolled this way as long as possible on the pulling portion of the muscle up, then once your hands start to turn, naturally your shoulders transition on top. We'll do single arm rows. So it's a pretty long pull, but another variation. I don't know how stable these boxes will be.
Okay, so you're kind of turning the opposite shoulder up into it? Okay.
Yep. Thing we'll do single arm rows, but just a hold.
Okay.
So I do these a lot too, and a lot of times we'll do hold, and we'll do opposite leg. So we're gonna row up, hold, and have a leg out. So another variation of a dip that we do all the time is a dip from your knees. And a dip from your knees is great because it keeps your hip angle open. So a dip with your hip angle open is how you mimic a dip on a muscle up. But normal dips, when you're fully suspended from the ground, your legs are straight, naturally your shoulders are casted forward, right? So you have this slight bend in your hips. So when you come down, it's really hard to force yourself to do this. So when we do a dip from our knees, it makes a big difference. And this is more of a drill than a conditioning exercise. You're not crushing reps with this, but I always come down on my knees and almost get my feet back a little bit and dip up.
So you're trying to get your knees in front of your shoulders, basically?
Right. So we start from this back position and then come up. Tons of things are good. So it's the conditioning aspect mixed with the skill. And that's a transition with gymnastics. People don't think about it a lot. They think that there's not that far of a gap between strength training and gymnastics training, but there's a huge gap because there's a skill aspect of it as well. So this is kind of that slow transition into moving into the strength training. So again, knees are on the ground. I'm a little bit behind. So as I pull up, I rotate in front and back.